this evidence is being presented to the police force, is also going to be presented to the media, and I'm also going to forward this information to my contact at Amnesty International. Once that has been done, we're not going to waste time or public money or finances in terms of preliminary inquiry. We're going to be pursuing a voluntary bill of indictment for murder. He was murdered.
And what is so freaky with the young man's death? I call it murder because Mr. Yulin Hanna was on TV a week ago, said that how the police officers are trained to shoot. Say do not pull out the revolver to shoot at the police. Now, if these guys are trained, and if the guy opened the car door and start to run, why shoot him in his back twice? I call that murder because he could have shoot him in his leg, and they found a toy gun, and 40 minutes later, they found a gun, put it in the plastic bag, and said, this is the gun. And then told the fellow who get killed, his brother, said, if you want yours,
come and get it.
And when witnesses come forward and talk, because Cable Bahamas did it, and I want to commend Cable Bahamas for doing
Cable 12.
Good job, Cable 12, for doing a good job when it comes to crime. That's why I always say Mr. Turnquist should never been the Minister of National Security and spearheading ZNS, because it'll be little conflicts here and there, and they wouldn't want to show certain things on ZNS. So I cry shame on the police force for doing that. I know you can't beat up all of the police, but for what I hear with the witnesses on Cable 12, I think it was murder. When you get shot twice in your back from a police officer who's trained to shoot, it's murder.
Bonnie, what is done in the dark will come to light. God has not appointed any of us to be a judge. We are just here to see what is going on, to speculate and try to correct the problems. But I cannot judge. I don't know who was at fault, what would have happened. But I'm quite sure what is done in the dark will come to light. Sidney Thompson, go ahead.
Let me just say this. You see, we want to deal with the evidence. And the thing is, we always hear about the police investigating things, but we never hear the end result of those investigations. And from what I'm hearing now, you've had apparently innocent persons being killed. Whereas the mandate of the police is to protect Bahamian citizens. That doesn't sound like killing people.
No.
They're supposed to have the capacity and the capability to carry out that mandate. They also supposed to have a comprehensive plan to reduce crime. They also supposed to have a comprehensive plan to better protect Bahamian families. Now, I have a problem when I see people being shot at by the police, individuals being shot down, no reasonable explanation given. Whereas the police, in fact, the government has said the police are supposed to protect all of the citizens, those who are criminals and those who are not criminals. So when we have incidents like this happening, the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas have to demand better. If we don't demand better, we get nothing. We cannot expect the police force to change it. They are not going to change it. We have to demand it to be changed.
Well, that's why we're here today.
I want to see this protection. What the government told me, they could better protect me. Sure. And if you're going to kill my brother, you're going to kill my sister, that's not better protection.
No, sir.
I got to get a word from Mr. Lester Cox, man. Lester, you need to weigh in on this, man. Weigh in on this, Lester.
I mean, I don't know what you want me to say, but I can tell you one thing. I think accountability is important. And I'm very concerned about the fact that when the police force carries out investigate, they're investigating themselves. You have to have an independent situation. You know, normally what you should have is you should have some independent citizens dealing with these kinds of investigations. Because I mean, if these things, if what people like Omar Archer and Bannister, if what they're saying is half true, there is a serious problem.
It is. It is.
I just want to add to. I just want to, I guess, play the devil advocate in this conversation. You know, the thing it is, just from being around law enforcement for many, many years, what I've realized is that it's challenging for a law enforcement officer, and a lot of people don't realize, you know, while you have the option of not using deadly force, but even if your life is in danger, even if you're pursuing somebody, I know you're obligated in some instances with the defense force, it was the fire warning shot. or try to shoot out, stop the vehicle where there was a boat at that time, or, if you stop so you can end the pursuit. And if they still don't comply, then you have all rights to shoot the individual.
Yeah, but Sidney, we know it's a tough job, right? We know it's a tough job.
And a lot of these people are well trained, and again, you have those bad apples. We had that same situation people mentioned with the prison situation. We had the same situation mentioned before with Defense Force at one time with the young boy. But those situations are very tricky, and when you're in the middle of the battle, things happen.
Right, but Sidney, we understand that.
I agree
what do you say, though, in terms of how it's investigated?
Right.
I mean, should the police investigate itself?
No, I don't think the police. I think we should have, not only for the police, I know in the U.S. they have I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's something, the Office of Accountability, which investigates prison, police, all the federal agencies. And this is an independent body. And usually it's one of the highest investigative body, next to, I guess, to take it to Congress. And in the Bahamas, we need an independent body.
Sidney, that would not work. For example, I am a police officer. I'm a local police officer. But my brother's wife sits on this higher body.
Well, just like the judge, that person should be able to reclude
my cousin
himself.
in the lodge.
You know what I'm saying? But listen, we should be responsible enough to know when there's a conflict of interest, just like in the courts. I mean, of course, this is a small nation. Everywhere you go, you're going to meet somebody's cousin, somebody's uncle. So the judge himself or the persons on those panels, we should have options. We should have an additional people. And they should be able to say, listen, I can't sit on this particular hearing because the gentleman before me or one or two of the people are well known to me and my first cousin, and I can't sit on this particular...
Where is the integrity? There's no integrity here, Mr. Omar Archer. You have something to say?
I would say this. Lester Cox raised a very, very important issue. He used one word that I think totally defines the entire situation, and that is the word of accountability. And that is indeed the word of accountability. I think in terms of accountability, who will be held accountable for the death of Jermaine Mackey in Camp Road? Who will be held responsible for the death of the young minor, the young girl who was riding the motorbike 2 weeks later when she was shot and killed by police? Who's going to be held accountable for Shaki, who was murdered in Pinewood? Who's going to be held accountable for the attempted murder of Wilson Pierre in Nassau Village, which resulted in a riot? Who's going to be held accountable for the shooting death of the young man in Pride Estates? Now, today we're asking the question, who will be held accountable for the death of Arsenio Mortimer?
Somebody will have to pay. That is why we are here. We are here to be the watchdogs over those who are supposed to enforce the law but are not.
But all these incidents were committed by police officers.
After commission inquiry, people were found guilty. A lot of stuff was found, but no one was ever prosecuted. The Bahamas is lame. Yes. A nation for sale. Yes. A nation for sale.